Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the news in detail. Members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the opposition All Progressives Congress in Plateau State say that they are confident of winning at the Supreme Court, which is scheduled to deliver judgment in the state's governorship election suit. The appeal court had earlier set aside the judgment of the tribunal, which affirmed the election of Governor Mutfwang and declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress as winner of the March 18 governorship election in the state on the ground that the governor was not validly nominated, but the governor challenged the decision at the Supreme Court. Trust TV's Ado Musa feels the pulse of party supporters and residents ahead of the judgment.
Tension, uncertainty and expectations are high among members of the PDP and that of the APC in the state, following the Supreme Court's scheduled judgment on Friday. Security personnel have been stationed at strategic locations to prevent any breakdown of law and order. Supporters of both parties are optimistic of victory come Friday.
Look at what happened to the former members of the National Assembly and the State Assembly members. Now that they are gone, what do you expect? And they were not able to answer that question. But this is a signal to them that yes, they lost the other elections, and as such, they have no hope in getting this one. So we know they are going to go by the grace of God, and whatever is happening now, they are only buying their time. Our presentation was excellently done, and it was done with legal backing. So many citations were quoted and were given.
Tomorrow there's going to be the verdict, and we are hopeful 100% that the judgment will be in our favor. We know what happens in the recent judgment with the appeal court, which really obtained the victory we had in the tribunal. And the Supreme Court, when you look at the composition of the judges, higher judges, their integrity, they will not demean what the Constitution has said. That's why we are very confident and we are hopeful. In the Supreme Court, we've seen some states with only 4 number of cases in the appeal court. The appeal court constitute 3 different panels. The one for gubernatorial separate, the one for Senate and Reps separate, and the one for State House of Assembly. But Plateau State, with the most high number of cases before the appeal court, 26 cases, only one panel sat and listening towards Plateau case. But the Supreme Court, in conclusion, when you look at the composition of the judges in the Supreme Court, we are very hopeful and we are confident that the judgment will be in our favor.
Some residents who also voiced their concerns ahead of the judgment call for calm and obedience to the law.
Tomorrow judgment, if the winner got it, then we'll pray for God to give him more experience, more wisdom in order to hold us. There is some misunderstanding in different local government. We don't want to hear that after this judgment. Anybody that is responsible as a governor of Plateau State should take good care of that side. That is my advice.
My take on the judgment, the governorship judgment that is coming tomorrow at the Supreme Court, we are very, very hopeful. We are very, very optimistic of the outcome of the judgment. Whichever either way that the judgment comes tomorrow, we the citizens of Plateau State, particularly the youth, we are ready to accept the outcome of the judgment. So my appeal to the Plateau youth, because mostly the youth are the ones trying to cause confusion here and there in terms of crisis in this state. History has shown that youth. So I want to appeal to my fellow youth is that we need to be in peace. We need to accept the outcome of the result. All the 2 candidates of PDP and APC are Plateau citizens.
There were heated arguments on Tuesday during the hearing and adoption by lawyers of Governor Mutfwang and Yulwadda, with the judgment expected to be delivered Friday. Political pundits say all the halabalu around the case will be put to rest. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Meanwhile, the Kano State Police Command has assured the public that comprehensive measures have been put in place to safeguard lives and property before and after the delivery of the Supreme Court judgment on Friday. Addressing reporters during the State Joint Security meeting, CP Mohammed Gumel urged residents to carry on with their regular activities and promptly report suspicious individuals to the nearest police stations on patrol throughout the city.
Nothing will change tomorrow. We have the strength to handle any situation arising from people who want to take the security of the state at stake. Our priority is to ensure that the safety of individuals are guaranteed. And by this statement, we are guaranteeing everybody to go about his lawful businesses. We have adequate manpower. We have adequate equipment. And as security agencies in the state, we are one. From this evening, 6 p.m., you will all notice our security deployment in location where we identify as flashpoints.
Now, in a grim discovery, the remains of 11 Fulani herdsmen from Tulde Fulbe, Laduga Grazing Reserve in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State were found in a forest near an area known as Crossing in Kachia local government area. The corpses discarded along Amaro Road were identified by relatives and community members as residents of Laduga, allegedly arrested by soldiers in the area at different times. Bello Musa reports.
Relatives and other members of the community who could not hold back tears took the pains of putting their loved ones in sacks after driving for over 30 minutes to get to the location where the decomposing bodies were allegedly dumped. Had a motorcycle accident when returning from Maulu celebration. I was at home when the news came to me. On our way to the hospital, soldiers stopped us, took him and told us they were taking him to Abuja. They accused my son of being a thief. I tried to explain to them that he was not a thief, but they did not listen. Before they left, they collected the 18,000 I was holding to pay my son's hospital bills. 1 week after his arrest, I was informed that his corpse has been found. I want justice for my son and other victims.
On Saturday morning, while my brother was on his way to the market with his friend Ibrahim, soldiers arrested them, and since then, we didn't hear from them until their corpses were found. As we were drinking our tea in the morning at the vendor's shop, the soldiers called my relation, Nuhu Magaji, and took him to the front of their vehicle and asked him what was this. I could not really hear what they were saying, but the next thing I heard them say was, "Enter the car." There was another man, Nura, selling grains. The soldiers pulled him toward their vehicle and shot him. That is how we all ran for safety.
According to them, they now live in fear due to incessant arrest of residents by alleged soldiers at Laduga Grazing Reserves of Kachia local government area of Kaduna State.
We, the people of Tide community, are living fear as women, children, and other people no longer sleep at home. The soldiers do storm the community at will. They came on Saturday morning around 8 o'clock and also on Tuesday around 2 a.m. Whenever they come, they search houses and take away our money. The people they arrested were Nura Yusuf, Abdulkadir Idris, Akilu Abdullahi, Ibrahim Abubakar, Magani Ibrahim, Saidu Saleh, Abdulaziz Yusuf, Ibrahim Sani, Musa Ibrahim, and Dan Asabi Agom. So far, 7 corpses have been recovered. When we add the one that was killed on Sunday, the number of those killed will become 8.
Don kasancewan mu daidai mu gaba daidai ba mu mika hukuma.
They should stop arresting innocent citizens. If they suspect that residents of the community are committing crimes, they should liaise with the community leaders for credible information that will lead to the arrest of the main culprits. Corroborating what was said, the village head to the Fulbe Laduga Grazing Reserve, Muhammad Yusuf, also accused soldiers of arresting and killing innocent Fulani men without investigation. He called on the Nigerian government to investigate the extrajudicial killing of their residents.
We are not thieves. We are law-abiding citizens. We have been living here, and our forefathers live here peacefully with the people. We are appealing to the government to take necessary actions against these injustices.
Responding to the allegations, the Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Officer of the 1 Division Headquarters, Kaduna, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahya said troops acting on credible intelligence stormed Tilden Fulani on 30 December 2023, during which one Ibrahim was arrested as suspect for involvement in terrorist activities and insurgency. According to him, the suspect is currently in their custody and had confessed his involvement in insurgent activities and has further volunteered information that is assisting the army in subsequent operation. The division further said the troops did not molest or kill anyone during its operation. When contacted, the overseeing commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Kaduna, Samuel Arwan, confirmed the receipt of the complaint from the Fulani herders.
Now, in a swift reaction, the headquarters of 1 Division has refuted claims of the Nigerian Army's involvement in the arrest and killing of 11 Fulani individuals, along with accusations of raiding houses and theft. The division emphasized the Army's commitment to the rule of law, human rights, and its representation of all Nigerian people. They clarified that recent military actions were in response to a kidnapping incident and subsequent revelation of insurgent activities within a community. The division denied engaging in extrajudicial killings or theft, labeling the accusations as a smear campaign aiming to undermine their efforts in addressing insurgency and terrorism. Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahya, Acting Deputy Director of Army Public Relations for 1 Division Nigerian Army, urges the public to disregard the malicious allegations and encourages continued cooperation with security agencies to combat terrorism and criminal activities in the area of responsibility. A fresh Thursday attack by suspected bandits has left 10 persons killed and several others wounded at Kukar Babangida village in the Jibia local government area of Katsina State. Among those killed were the Kukar Babangida village head, Zauren Katsina, along with his 4 biological children. Residents told journalists that the bandits invaded the village in the early hours of Thursday, precisely at 1:30 a.m. when most of the residents were deeply asleep. Kukar Babangida remained one of the vulnerable villages grappling with the activities of bandits since the emergence of banditry in the state. The Katsina State Police Command was yet to react to the attack as at press time. Away from security matters to business, Saminaka Grains Market, a pivotal hub for grain transactions in Kaduna State, faces the brunt of scarcity and substantial price hikes in essential grains like maize, beans, and millet. Dealers and buyers are expressing their concerns, especially during the dry season when grains are expected to be both available and affordable. Ado Musa completes the story.
This is Saminaka Grain Market, one of the largest grain markets in Nigeria, where buyers and sellers from within and beyond Nigeria converge to do business every Wednesday. Regular business activities are taking a negative turn as traders in the market say the prices of commodities have skyrocketed at a time it is expected to go down, with a bag of maize, beans and millet now selling at 44,000, 75,000 and 43,000 naira respectively. Some stakeholders provide an insight on current market realities.
To gaskiya dalilin da muke gani shine saboda fargaba da mafi yawancin jama'a suke yi.
Fear that the prices of grains will skyrocket like last year. So, this season, many believe that the prices of grains are likely to shoot up. Because of that, people, especially those with money, bought them in large quantities and stored them to gain a profit. Additionally, insecurity as a result of banditry across agrarian communities in the north means the harvest this year is significantly low, with farmers' inputs like fertilizer also beyond the reach of smallholder farmers, complicating the production process.
To babban abin da zan yi bayani akan karancin kaya ba a yi noma bane an yi, amma saboda wahala.
People really suffer last year. A lot of them who were never engaged in the grain business now hoard the commodities. They bought the grains and put them in these stores you are seeing until the prices go up to a certain amount. Aside that, people from far north where insecurity is ripe and could not cultivate their farms come down to this market to buy. Buyers come and leave empty-handed due to the scarcity of the product in the market. On the other side are buyers who are also at the receiving end of the current situation, which is further compounding their lower purchasing power.
Duk kasuwa yana da kuɗi. Shi yasa wata ran idan ka zo ka samu kayan kaɗan.
Whatever you intend to buy, you can hardly get it because the price is increasing day by day. You just have to buy what little you can. Rich people have already bought the grains and hoarded them in stores.
Mu je mu sarrafa ta. Sakamakon wani zubin muna zuwa mu koma.
We sometimes come and leave empty-handed because of the hike in price of the grains. Before, you could come with little amount of money and bought a lot of paddy rice. But now, it is not possible. This is affecting our business. With Nigerians over 28% inflation rate, it appears that the current price hike will likely continue, leaving many feeling despondent and unable to make ends meet. The current market realities have become emblematic of Nigerians' food security challenges. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And from Saminaka Grains Market, we'll move to the Katsina Central Market, which was once a bustling hub for business activity, has now become a shadow of itself as stalls that were hitherto packed with goods now stand bare, mirroring the empty pockets of the customers. Jamil Mabai reports that the harsh economic challenges occasioned by the rise in the exchange rate of the naira against the dollar, as well as the closure of the Nigeria-Niger border, have combined to plague the people of Katsina. The report.
The vibrant central market in Katsina, Nigeria, usually a hive of activity, now hangs heavy with an unsettling quiet. Ahmad's stall, once overflowing with colorful produce, stands bare, mirroring the emptiness in the stomachs of his customers. Customers that spend 70,000 naira before, they cannot spend 20,000 naira now because things are expensive and his salary hasn't changed. A confluence of factors have conspired against ordinary Nigerians. The dollar skyrocketing price and the closed Nigeria border have choked off imported food, sending prices soaring. The price of dollar has increased and most of the rice are imported from Niger Republic into Katsina State. Crisis in Niger worsened rice scarcity. Only the big dealers here have it. Once they hear increase in the price of dollar, they just increase the price of rice. Even local food items like maize and gari, once a haven for stretched wallets, are now luxuries, many can't touch. Before, the bag of maize cost 20 to 24,000. Now it costs 40,000 naira. A measure of gari is now 1,200 naira. Analysts say insecurity in the northwest has cast a dark shadow, with farmers abandoning their fields and local markets turning into ghost towns.
Many farmers did not cultivate a single crops due to the insecurity in the states. So they cannot farm, they cannot rear animals, they cannot even go to the market.
Many point fingers at the government's band aid solutions, criticizing them as wasteful and ineffective.
Because when you say palliative, how could you give a household one bag or one cup of rice and one spaghetti to say you're giving a palliative for 6 months or for a year? This is not even palliative for a 1 hour palliative. It is about programs, reliable, dependable program that will directly touch life of the common man.
President Tinubu's recent announcement of slashing his office expenses has sparked a flicker of hope. Citizens now urge state governors to follow suit. Jamil Mubay, Trust TV, Katsina.
Now, despite claims by the Central Bank of Nigeria that there is enough money in circulation, traders at Kumo Market in Gombe State who rely on cash for transactions have been lamenting the unavailability of cash for their daily business activities. Trust TV's Hassan Lawan Kohli, who visited the market, reports that merchants there are taking deliberate steps to address the cash shortage, which they said is affecting their trade in grains. The report.
This is the entrance of Kumo Grain Market in Akwa local government area of Gombe State. Here, the trading of grains has changed dimension since the introduction of cashless policy by the federal government in early 2023. Merchants are refocusing on sourcing cash at provision stores and filling stations as they are not able to withdraw much from commercial banks. The process of getting cash is hard. You have to be going here and there looking for cash from local traders, because if you go to banks, they will not give you enough, and you can only get 20,000 at ATMs. If you go to POS operators, they will charge you 10,000 on every 1 million naira, which is like giving away your profit, and that means we are earning less, if not running at loss. We are not getting money from banks for now, and POS operators are unable to give us the amount of money we need to run our business. The challenge is that people that patronize this market do not accept bank transfers, while some do not even have a bank account. One of the leaders at the market said although the cash crunch has negatively affected their trading, they are however encouraging members to adopt e-payment as an alternative. Cash scarcity is not affecting us as much as it did before, because some people are gradually accepting e-payments, with the exception of those from villages and far places that have not embraced e-payment. This entire scenario at the market is contrary to the claims by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, that there is enough cash in circulation. Hassan Lawan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Still ahead, Nigerians react to President Tinubu's 60% travel expenses cuts. Details and more after the break.
Join us for the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue and presentation of the 2023 African of the Year. This year's theme, Tinubu's economic reforms, gainers and losers, will be chaired by Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, former Minister of National Planning. Guest speakers, Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Victoria Akai, Immediate Past Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Comrade Joe Ajero, President, Nigeria Labour Congress. This event takes place at NAF Conference Center and Suites, Kado Expressway, Abuja on Thursday, 25th of January 2024, 10 a.m. Attendance is free and you can watch the live broadcast on Star Times Channel 164 or Nicomsat free to air. For sponsorship, branding and participation, please contact 081-5176-4600 or 080-3392-8902. Don't miss this insightful dialogue shaping the economic landscape in Nigeria.
Wherever you are in the world, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's there for the taking. It's in the back of the net.
AFCON 2023. Watch all 52 matches live on Star Times.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Here's the reminder of our top stories. All eyes on the Supreme Court as Kano, Plateau and 5 other states await final verdicts. Plus, 11 mutilated bodies found in Kaduna forest as community accuses the military of extrajudicial killings. In other news, the Defense Headquarters has urged Nigerians to prevent terrorists from having free rein in the new year. The DHQ called on the citizens to be security conscious and report criminal activities in their environments to security operatives. Addressing journalists in Abuja on Thursday, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Edward Buba, promised that the military will take action on such tip-offs. Buba joined in using the slang hashtag no grief for anybody, which is currently trending among youths as slang for the year. Many believe that the slang is about staying to one's beliefs and not easily succumbing to the influence of others.
Of our operations this week, troops have maintained an aggressive posture, and our mission is clear on what needs to be done in winning the war against the terrorists and their cohorts across the country. We have demonstrated our commitment by our actions to win this war. Troops will therefore act with tremendous force to achieve the tasks ahead as we progress in the year 2024. This year, 2024, I urge citizens of this country to see security as a collective responsibility of all. Therefore, no greed for terrorists, no greed for perpetrators of insecurity.
All right. Now, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant Colonel Tauri Lagbaja, has reassured the people of Imo State and the government of his continuous support from the Nigerian Army to ensure the security and safety of the state. This assurance was given during his working visit to the state ahead of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise reports.
Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja is visiting Imo State for the first time since his appointment as the Chief of Army Staff by President Bola Tinubu. His visit is part of a tour across various military formations nationwide, aiming to interact with the troops to better reposition the military.
Yeah, okay, what's it called? Your Excellency. Tell you that I'm in your state to see my men, and the objective of my visit is to assess the operational development, check the state of infrastructure in the barracks, with a view to devoting attention to gaps and challenges that they face to address them and make them more effective.
Governor Hope Uzodinma, who received the Army Boss, expressed gratitude for the military's contributions to the state and the nation at large. The governor also pledged continuous support to the army in Imo State.
We continue to support the Nigerian Army. We will continue to collaborate with the Nigerian Army, particularly under your leadership. And I attest to the fact, my little knowledge of your personality, you are one of the finest officers ever produced by the Nigerian Army.
The Nigerian Army has ongoing military operations in the southeast as part of efforts to maintain law and order while protecting the territorial integrity of the country. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Now, the media landscape has been playing a pivotal role in shaping national discourse aimed at fast-tracking the growth and development of Nigeria as the largest economy and democracy on the African continent. Combating fake news, which has become a threat to credible news information, is the basis for a partnership between Voice of Nigeria and Media Trust Group with the goal of sanitizing the news space in Nigeria. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Worried by the rising wave of fake news and disinformation undermining the image of Nigeria, the Director General of BONE says the goal of the partnership is to leverage the successes of media trusts to build public trust and confidence.
We are in the age of noise, and traditional media like ours is challenged by platforms, sometimes very inconsequential, but have the capacity not just to embarrass individuals but also nations. And that has led to fake news, misinformation and disinformation. As traditional platforms, we have responsibility, either public platform like ours or private concern like yours. We must come together to fight this unfortunate trend.
Responding to the offer of partnership, Acting Group Chief Executive Officer of Media Trust Limited, Ahmed Shekarau, says the collaboration aligns with the organization's vision to maintain industry standards while moving the needle in the media industry in Nigeria and across the continent.
As you very well know, and we're happy you broadcast in numerous languages, including Hausa. We have big continental aspirations for Hausa, so for dissemination of news and information in Hausa, not just on the radio platform, but even within our digital space.
The newly forged alliance between Voice of Nigeria and Media Trust Group will seek to push for more positive and factual stories, aiming to boost the profile of Nigeria to the rest of the world. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, Nigerians have been reacting to President Tinubu's 60% travel expenditures cut from all government officials, including the presidency. The President Tinubu's decision comes barely 2 months after he was criticized for Nigeria's large delegation at the COP28 summit in Dubai. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Last year, Nigeria had at least 1,411 delegates at the COP28 summit in Dubai, making the country's delegation the third largest after UAE and Brazil. After much criticism, the presidency insisted that public funds were not used to fund the entire delegates, pointing out that the delegation included representatives of private organizations. Be that as it may, The president's latest move to cut travel expenses of top government officials by 60% has elicited mixed reactions amongst concerned Nigerians.
It's a very welcome development. You know, when you see the situation of our economy in the country now, and you see a lot of government officials, you know, traveling with a lot of people following them, and each of them will be given a specific amount of money after the traveling. I think this is actually killing our economy in Nigeria.
But the decision of the Mr. President is a good development to the entire country. This is what we are even expecting a good leader to show. And we have seen a good step that is even making, because a lot of expensive of this travel is affecting the economies and affecting the masses of this country.
While most Nigerians say slashing travel expenditure of all government officials, including presidency, by 60% is a good decision, others cast doubt on government's ability to implement the policy.
It's not all about making the decision or introducing the policy. It's all about making some intentional, attempts to make sure other things come to reality. It's not just talking, mere talking.
We are not talking of cutting expenses. Expenses is very good. It's a very good exercise policy. But what we are saying is, all those money that have been stolen, what is government doing with it? That's what we are saying.
Speaking on Trust TV's breakfast show, Daybreak, former Nigerian Senator Shehu Husani said cutting travel expenses for government officials by 60% is not all that required to reduce the cost of governance to the barest minimum in the country.
Cutting the travel expenses by 60% is an appreciable step, but it is talkism. It has to go beyond that. It has to go across all areas, sectors, and spheres where the federal government or those in the position of authority are wasting public funds.
Announcing the new travel policy, the presidency cut the number of persons to travel with the president on local trips to 25, while 20 persons will accompany the number one citizen on foreign trips. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, on Thursday charged the newly appointed chief executive officers and directors of the aviation agencies to optimally carry out their duties in the best possible way as outlined in the ministry's key performance indicators. He also told the CEOs and directors to resign if their goal in office is to make money and not serve the Nigerian people. Keyamo stated this during the official induction ceremony for the newly appointed aviation heads of agencies in Abuja, the nation's capital. He said that some of the key performance indicators of the ministry include ensuring strict compliance with safety regulations, supporting the growth of local airlines operators, developing human capacity within the aviation industry, and generating revenue for the federal government, amongst others. He reminded them of the financial policy of the government and advised them to strictly adhere to it and carefully scrutinize documents, especially those that relate to finances. Now, the Lagos State chapter of Nigerian Bar Association on Wednesday organized a peaceful protest against alleged police brutality in the state. The protest, which followed the brutalization of one of its members, Olumide Sonupe, at Moshalashi police station in Lagos, began at the bar center and terminated at the police headquarters in Ikeja. Victoria Tokolo sent in the report as presented from our studio.
All 5 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association in Lagos State came together for peaceful protest against police brutality on their member, as well as on other citizens in the state and in the country at large. The protest was led by human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana. They demand for a thorough investigation into the case of their member, Olumide Sonupe, who was detained for 3 days at the police station over a civil matter.
The MBA wants a full investigation
of the incident in the station, and happily the Commissioner of Police announced today that a high-power investigation is already ongoing. He also indicated that lawyers should be prepared to be members of the committee since the police have nothing to hide. So after the report, we are also taking certain steps, or beside the report, the NBA is filing an action, in court to protect the human rights of our colleague, and to make a point that if anything of that nature happens to any lawyer again, the Nigerian Bar Association will take it up.
And so we're not coming out because it is our colleague that is involved. We're saying that when you go into a police station as a Nigerian, you have a right to be treated in the most civil manner that you deserve. You cannot go in there and they're subjecting you to all form of harassment. They tell you to drop your phone at the entrance. I mean, if you're not doing anything in your station that is unholy, why are you asking us to drop our phones? Why are you asking us to drop our phones?
Other members of the association also voiced their displeasure with the manner police personnel harass legal practitioners.
Why we as lawyers have to come together to say police are actually supposed to work together with us, or we are supposed to work with them to be able to bring justice. So for us being treated the way that they are doing, maybe molesting most of us at the police station, is not right. That is why we as lawyers, we have to come together today to say no to this. We are against this brutality. We want us to work together as one.
The victim, Olumide Shonwe, in an interview, narrated his ordeal with the police.
I just want justice to be done. I want them to be brought to book. Both IPO Grace, the area commander, and the DPO, even the DCO, they should be brought to book because the injustice, because I was in a cell with about five other cellmates, and all their cases were all purely civil matter. And they were telling me they've been there for 3-4 days. So the injustice is not only meted to me, it was meted to a lot of other people, ranging from the carpenter, the electrician, and so many other people.
The association later presented a petition to the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayoade, who promised to work together with the association to avert a recurrence in the future.
We'll now take a quick break. The news hour continues shortly. Join us again.
Hello and welcome to...
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. It's now time for us to take a look at Business Update with Yusuf Akogu.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. 21 days to the expiration of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN deadline for all bank customers to have bank verification number BVN, the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System registration data show that over 60 million Nigerians now have BVN. This represents an increase of 2.6% from 58.7 million BVN registrations as of September last year. CBN on December 1st, 2023, directed commercial bank, merchant, non-interest, payment service banks, other financial institutions and mobile money operators through a circular that the BVN or National Identification Number NIN attached to all accounts wallet must be electronically revalidated by January 31st, 2024. The circular say that effective March 1st this year, all funded account or wallet without BVN or NIN shall be placed on post-no debit or credit and no further transaction will be permitted. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekpo, has stated that the collaboration between the public and private sector is essential in achieving Nigeria's energy security goals. The minister stated this during the Optimera Energy's flag-off construction of gas distribution infrastructure at Lagos Free Zone. The minister explained that natural gas is a critical component of energy mix, offering cleaner and more efficient solution. He added that the development of a 25 million standard cubic feet per day city gate station is scalable to 100 million standard cubic feet per day, along with the necessary auxiliary infrastructure, reflect not only their dedication but also a shared vision for a thriving and resilient Nigeria. In a dramatic move on Wednesday, the Central Bank of Nigeria reconstituted the boards and management of 3 banks, Polaris, Union, and Keystone Banks. The Apex Bank statement cited regulatory non-compliance, corporate governance failure, disregarding the condition under which their licenses were granted, and involvement in activities that pose a threat to financial stability. We have more in this report. Union Bank of Nigeria was established in 1917 and is one of the Nigeria's long-standing and most respected financial institutions, offering a portfolio of banking services to individuals, SMEs, commercial and corporate clients. Similarly, Polaris Bank began operation on September 21, 2018 to offer commercial banking services to the Nigerian public. The bank commenced services on the same day, having purchased the assets and liabilities of the defunct Sky Bank. Keystone Bank, on the other hand, currently operating in 3 countries with an array of local and international relationships across developing and developed countries. The 3 banks came under scrutiny after a report was submitted to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by the Special Investigator on the Central Bank of Nigeria and the related entities, Mr. Jim Obaze. The report raised concerns about the acquisition of Union Bank of Nigeria by Titan Trust Bank and implicated individuals such as former Deputy Governor of CBN, Mr. Tunde Lemo. The acquisition of this bank happened under the leadership of the embattled former CBN Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. In sacking the boards and management of the 3 banks, the Apex Bank said the action was because of non-compliance of the banks and their respective boards with the provision of Section 12C, F, G, H of Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020. While the specific details of the bank non-compliance were not given by the Apex Bank, regulatory non-compliance could involve issues like capital adequacy ratio, loan-to-deposit ratio, or risk management practices falling below acceptable standard. It remains to be seen whether the dissolution of the boards and management of Union, Keystone and Polaris Bank marks an important step by the CBN towards maintaining a sound and secure financial system in Nigeria. Now to the exchange rate market. Naira remain weak at both official and of course the black market windows. Here are today's figures. The bulls are back again in the markets. Of course, what we saw yesterday was a different thing entirely, where the bears came, briefly into the market, and of course the investor lost 639 billion naira. Part of that money were actually recovered today, as we see with the recovery done there by some medium cap equities, Realex, Guineas, and of course Julius Berger gaining 10%, 10% as well, and of course 9.2% respectively. This pushed the index up to 0.7% indeed. Of course, the market cap also a very good recovery there, you will say, on the day. Volume of trade, 87281 million there, 877.281 million, value at 14.41 billion. A whopping 14,991 deals exchange hands today amongst investors. And of course, if you look at the top trading equities, you have the like of Transcorp Nigeria, Sterling Bank, and of course, Access Bank as well, Access Corporation, you would like to say 74.535 million shares, 54.323, and of course 54.114 million volume of shares actually exchange hands among all these equities. And as usual, when you have some gainers, I beg your pardon, there are, of course, will be some losers. And we have on our losing table today Ikeja Hotels, Abbey Bread, and of course Cavitin Helicopters. These are the highlights of the stock trading in Nigerian capital market today. Let's look at the market in other climes. And finally, business, we look at the crude oil price. Of course, oil price rose on Thursday after an oil tanker was boarded by an armed group in Oman, raising the prospect of escalating conflict in the Middle East. At the London market, Brent crude trade for $78 per barrel for the OPEC basket, price steadies at $78 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
All right, thanks, Yusuf Akogu, for the business updates. We'll now take a look at sports updates with Adeni Ajishafe.
Boxers in the forthcoming Ninja Hood Star Boxing Tournament have been talking tough ahead of the professional bout approved by the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control (NBOFC). Toyeba Adeniran will take on Ahmed Kudus, while Tunde Oni is expected to lock arms against Taufik Ganiu. Toyeba Adeniran believes he has what it takes to win.
I'm fully prepared. I can't wait to that day. I just want everything to get done. Like, I can't wait to that day. Sunday is almost there, so I can't wait to get it done.
Ahmed Kudus is equally prepared.
The information I have is that I know my opponent is training and I'm also working hard. So I believe when we get to the ring, the best man wins today. That's all.
Boxing promoter and chief executive officer of Ninja Hood Star Boxing Promotion, Kudus Adesina, said Nigeria is blessed with talented boxers who, with a little support and encouragement, can be world champions.
Actually, we come up with this initiative due because some rural areas, if you see some rural areas, you will see some boxers who have turned themselves down without believing they can make it again in boxing. So we decided to go around the rural areas, pick boxers up.
The main bout, we have Sarumi Abdulaziz taking on Samuel Moses in the HBE title fight. The one-day boxing championship tagged Rumble in the Hood Season 3. We see boxers from various parts of Lagos slug it out on Sunday at Igodo, Lagos. French League One club OGC Nice will release Terem Murphy for Super Eagles duty after their clash with Reims on Saturday. The striker will then fly to Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, to join the Super Eagles squad on Sunday. Murphy was a late replacement for Bayer Leverkusen striker Victor Boniface, who was ruled out of the 2023 AFCON after sustaining injury during training. Murphy has scored 6 goals with 2 assists in all competitions for Nice this season and has scored 4 goals in 12 appearances for the 3-time African champions. Leicester City forward Kelechi Iheanacho will also join the Super Eagles squad in Abidjan after completing treatment on a muscular injury. And still on AFCON, Nigerian Super Eagles keeper Ahmed Musa has urged Nigerians to believe in them as the team pursues its 4th African title. The team suffered a surprising 2-0 defeat to the Silly Stars of Guinea in the final warm-up game in Abu Dhabi. Musa said the team has quality players and is ready to give their best in Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah, since after the last game in Uyo, that the campaign started that let's do it again. So we have been talking to each other that, guys, this is the time for us to go there and shine, because we can see all the team that are in the 25-man spot. You can't say otherwise in this team. When you hear the name, you can't say that we are not going there to win. But
Super Eagles will lock arms with the Zalang National of Equatorial Guinea in their 4th game on 14 January at the Olympic Stadium in Ebimpe at 3 p.m. Nigerian time, before facing hosts Côte d'Ivoire and Guinea-Bissau in the other group games. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Now, away from Nigeria, on the first of 2 days of legal arguments at the International Court of Justice, South Africa's Justice Minister presented his country's case against Israel, whom they accuse of genocide in its war in Gaza. Justice Minister Ronald Lamola said that Thursday that Israel's response to the 7th of October 2023 attack had crossed a line and gives rise to the breaches of the convention. South Africa launched its case against the United Nations top court in November and has asked the ICJ to order an immediate halt to Israel's military campaign in Gaza. The case centers on the 1948 Genocide Convention, which both South Africa and Israel are signatories to. South African lawyer Adila Hassim argued that Israel's conduct violated Articles 2A, 2B, 2C and 2D of the convention. South Africa has been highly critical of Israel's military operations in Gaza since the war began, with lawmakers voting in November to suspend diplomatic ties until a ceasefire is agreed. And that's a wrap on the News Hour tonight. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye.